What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Not quite the day for the man who wrote Punisher, as he has had some terrible stuff happen to him today, which I'm going to go over. Normally, I get a lot of emails and stuff like that for, hey, will you promote my XYZ thing? I almost never do. And it isn't because there aren't things that I support, but it's because if I did it, it would be all I would be doing. I'd be endlessly promoting things. And that's not what this actual video is about. It's about some wimps over at Facebook and Reddit and other places that have censored a graphic novel that for daring to depict law enforcement officers in a positive light. Now, this book, I think it's done fundraising anyway right now. It's called The Thin Blue Line. It looks pretty cool. This is Mike Barron, Eisner and Inkpot award winner for The Punisher, The Flash, Nexus, The Badger. Written many, many, many things. And I don't suppose he'll have a problem with showing a little bit of this.
This is the defund the police movement and its consequences for society. But several comic book companies have refused to publish it. Now we're asking you to join the effort to distribute it independently and help support the men and women of law enforcement. Get your copy of the only graphic novel to offer an unflinching and not always flattering look at the men and women of law enforcement during a time when we need them the most.
So you can see, maybe it doesn't always necessarily depict them in the best light. And, I have said this before on the channel. I'll say it again. I absolutely back our men and women in blue. And I think any of them would, I think blindly backing a group of people often leads to disingenuous takes. Obviously, there are bad seeds there, but they are few and far between. And if nothing, we've seen over the past few days several officers give their lives in the line of duty, reminding us a call to a simple argument between a husband and wife doesn't always end with those officers going home. This, on top of years of anti-police rhetoric by mainstream media, is emboldening people to do terrible things. And so this really isn't about the book. I mean, it is cool. It looks cool. Maybe some people got a hold of it, but it looks drawn well. Cool story. But it's now being blocked everywhere. An activist moderator on popular R Comics subreddit, which boasts membership of over 1.7 million readers, banned promotion of prolific comic book creator Mike Barron's new book, Thin Blue Line, for, quote, misinformation. What? Now, if you sell comics in this modern market, you know that, it's just not the same as it used to be. And a lot of people are going to Indiegogo and having to self-fund their comics, including even somebody as famous as Mike Barron. They have to go out there and grind it on their own. Otherwise, they're not going to get the funding. They're not going to get the financial backing. They're not going to get the eyes on their product. They need places like our comic books. They need places like Facebook. They need places like, quite frankly, word of mouth to get their books sold. Because, the few comic book shops that are out there anymore, my heart goes out to them. It's clearly a work of love. You're never going to get rich owning a comic book shop. And I don't think anybody really opens them to make a bunch of money. They open them because they love comic books and they love trading card games and they love the community that comes with it. Is there some ruthless capitalist that opened a comic book store somewhere? I suppose maybe, but they're in for a rude awakening when you get books like Squirrel Girl and, Agender Superman and, Open the Borders Green Lantern. You're not going to be selling a lot of books. Now, it says, in response to sharing of this article, this particular one, our comics moderator, Sick Burn Bro, replied to the original posted writing, "Hello, bleeding fool. Unfortunately, your submission has been removed for the following reasons: misinformation and the ism." The moderator adds that if you feel your submission was removed in error, please message us and we can take a look. Okay. Barron's Thin Blue Line tells a story that follows of police officer Valeria Baca and her partner, Bob Mack, a strong, independent woman. Why wouldn't they back this? As a detail guarding the mayor turns into a fight for survival. The official description on the Indiegogo page continues. Mobs burned down City Hall, forcing officers to improvise on the run, relying only on their training and their wits as the mayor's protestations, can I talk? And eagerness to placate the rioters proved fruitless. Speaking with Fox News, Barron revealed the book was a direct response to the Summer of Love. He explained, well, as I always say, I don't choose my stories choose me. And like every one of you, I was watching TV during the long, hot summer of 2020 when we saw talking news heads in front of cities that had been burned to the ground explaining that they were mostly peaceful. And then politicians started to cry to defund the police. My reaction was, of course, are they insane? Civilization depends on the rule of law. You're either for the rule of law or you're not, he stated. He went on to add, the story practically wrote itself, and I have to emphasize that it's not a lecture, it's not a didactic at all. It's pure drama. You're going to love it. It's a great story. It's going to grab you from the throat from the very first page. You won't be able to put it down until you finish it. In his interview with Peter Pischke of The Federalist, Barron reiterated that the events of 2020 inspired the book when he wrote, so are you doing The Thin Blue Line? Is it a pro-law enforcement story? What motivated you? Yes, one day watching these things sweep through America last year, you would see the same thing on the channel after channel. Cities in flames, looters running in and out, some idiot addressing the camera up front and saying, these are mostly peaceful and for a righteous cause. And you see politician after politicians saying we must defund the police. So they declared this on police. Deletions are up 100% in every blue city. Our words, robberies are up 100% in every one of those cities that went after their own PD. Now they have mandates and they want to force everyone to get, it's not going to end well. And I know that a lot of police, are against the mandates too. Now, what's interesting is apparently Facebook also blocked it. When Mike and his team went the traditional route to get the book published, they were met with extreme prejudice and outright obscene rejections from indie publishers and comic book media outlets. So Barron returned to crowdfunding, where he had experienced success before, notably with this humorous Florida Man comic. The Thin Blue Line Creative launched an Indiegogo campaign, which is boosted by YouTube appearance on CG Kings with other live streams that quickly brought in some much-needed attention to the project. But what really elevated the campaign was Barron's recent appearance on January 9th when he was interviewed by Fox. Facebook and Reddit. I don't see anything about Facebook. Here's Reddit. Here. Okay, here's Facebook. They have also a Facebook community with a lot of group people. The campaign manager reached out to subreddit's moderation team for clarification on what was actually misinformation, but rather than responding to the query, the monitors abruptly banned them from even communicating. The censorship follows a similar back and forth experience with Facebook Meta. Over the weekend, the social media giant rejected their advertisements on the book. Facebook's approval team would not permit the ad below because it determined it promoted sensitive social issues that could influence public opinion. When the creative team tried to appeal to Facebook, it was rejected again. Facebook seemingly doesn't have any problem whatsoever promoting divisive material when it's on quote unquote the other side of things, does it? When it's helping divide people and push to, I don't know, whatever a political opinion HBO has, which is clearly left leaning at HBO. Facebook, they don't have any problem with this. I don't know Mike Barron at all. I'm a fan of Punisher, obviously. And I'm not going to tell people to give this guy money just because pro cop. But I will say that if the book looks good, you should consider backing it. It doesn't. It looks like it's actually over. It says in demand now. So I think you can still order. Oh, yeah, you just have to click on this. And then you can get it. Okay, so you can still order it. I don't like when people get censored And so I use my platform to do what I can and promote it. So I guess check out Thin Blue Line graphic novel over on Indiegogo. And if you like it, pick one up. If not, consider boosting this video, and maybe someone you know does like it, and they'll pick it up. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.